Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tuckered Mama Podcast. I'm your host, Sammy Collins, and this is the place where real mom life meets real solutions, a little bit of chaos, and a whole lot of love. So if you're anything like me, you've probably had that moment where your kids are bouncing off the walls. You've already cycled through all of your snacks. You've done screen time. You've done every toy in the house, and you're thinking like, what can I actually do with my kids today? Especially here in Atlanta, we're so fortunate because we have so many family-friendly, fun activities and things to do. But at the same time, it's also kind of makes it harder because you can't narrow it down to like, what can I actually do and where can I even start? So I thought today's episode would be really fun to go through 10 fun mom-approved things to do in Atlanta right here with your kids, whether that's just getting out of the house, finding a nice place to go on a walk, let the kids burn out some energy at a playground, or just make sweet memories together. So in today's episode, the best part about this is that these are things that are actually realistic for moms to do. They're easy, they're fun, and they're worth it. So let's get right into it. I'm going to walk you through all of these one by one. You can actually decide what fits your vibe best, what fits your family, your kids' ages, and honestly, your energy for the day, because not every day do you wake up and you feel like you can do something that might take 3 or 4 hours, like a zoo trip. You might be waking up tired, going easy into the morning, starting your day off slow. And then the afternoon is when your kids ramp up their energy and you're really exhausted by 3 p.m. So you might need like a close playground recommendation that's going to burn an hour before dinner and bedtime. So let me break this down for you real quick. A couple of my favorite spots to go to in this week's episode. First up, we have the Georgia Aquarium. If you haven't been to the Georgia Aquarium, I highly recommend that you get the Aqua Pass. The Aqua Pass, it used to be called the Residence Pass, and you had to live in Georgia and all these different requirements. But now they actually call it the Aqua Pass. You don't have to just live in Georgia. Anybody can get it. And it's the price of one day's ticket for the entire year. So with the prices of the Georgia Aquarium, I highly recommend you do that. Obviously, it's going to pay for itself after one visit. So make sure you find that on their website when you go to that. When we go to the Georgia Aquarium, we obviously park in the parking deck that's right there. You do have to pay for parking when you go. So this is, high up on the list, but it's also something that we easily spend 2.5 hours at, maybe 2 hours. If we don't plan on like bringing our lunch and eating there. So they do check diaper bags, but you can bring in snacks. I brought in snacks for my littles all the time and lunches. So that's a nice perk of the Georgia Aquarium. The Georgia Aquarium has a lot of different shows you can attend also at different hourly times. So I recommend that you either sign up when you first get there. There's tons of people that are waiting right when you walk through the gates to say, hey, you want to see the lion show today? Hey, you want to see the dolphin show today? Make sure you sign up so have a seat, blah, blah, blah. So you don't have to pay extra for it. You just have to make sure you sign up so that they know how many people are attending, so they have enough seats. So the sea lion show is really cool. And the dolphin show, we've been to both of those. And then I've even seen like otter stuff going on, and they have different random stuff every time we go. But most likely we always go to the dolphin show. When my kids were younger and toddlers, they would not really sit for it that long. We accidentally went to one that was just like informative. So it was all about like what dolphins are and where they come from and just like a whole life lesson of the dolphin. And there were no tricks, nothing. So I don't know how we managed to pick the one day with my then 2-year-old to take her to this dolphin show that had no tricks, no flips, no splashing, nothing. So yes, it's only about, I think they're like 15, maybe 20 minutes long per show. And we had to leave after like 10 minutes. I was like, I'm sorry, like she can't sit here anymore. So don't do what I did and make sure you find the right show to sign up for, or ask whenever you're signing up, like, hey, just want to make sure like this is going to be a good experience. I got young kids, blah, blah. So also when you're there at the Georgia Aquarium, there are 5 different habitat areas you can go and explore. They're really cool. They've got like the coral reef section, they've got the ocean view, and then they've got a shark one, and then the Voyager and the river. I think that's all 5 of them, but you just I always make my way. We start with the sharks, which when you enter, you go to the left, and we start with the sharks, and then we make our way around the bottom floor, and then you eventually work your way to the top. And at the top, they do have a cafeteria there, and they do have food. We normally don't eat there, but we have in the past, and the food is fine. They've changed it up a little bit in the past year. They redid their cafeteria area, so I can't speak on the new food, but if it's the same as them having it in the other area, then it's wonderful. It's fine. I mean, it's like cheeseburgers and fries, chicken tenders and a side, and like sandwiches, and then they have like, gas station kind of snack area, like muffins and crackers and, Nature Valley bars and fruit cups. So there's something for everybody there. But I like that they don't check and make you not bring in food. So we always bring in our own food. So the Georgia Aquarium is really cool. There's also like a touch tank. That's where they used to have the food. So they moved the cafeteria over to the upper level, and the touch tank is really cool, where you can go and do the 2 fingers on the different animals that are in the touch tank. And then there's also another touch tank up to the left. If you go up the escalators where the food is, there's another smaller touch tank up there. And then also while you're up there, if you're homeschooling especially, they have a really cool like homeschooling like hallway where you can learn about all kinds of different aquarium animals that are there. You can also see like the dolphins tank from above, which is cool. And sometimes like if people are signed up for like the dolphin feeding or the whale shark feeding, you can see into that room where the people are, and it's really cool to see the tank, this huge fungus tank above. So Georgia Aquarium is really cool to check out. You can also like check out downtown while you're down there. You can walk over to the Coca-Cola factory. If you have older kids, I would recommend that. I haven't taken my daughter. She's 3.5. I haven't taken her yet. I don't think that she's like there yet for that experience, but I mean, if you've got like 5 and up, those kids love the Coca-Cola factory that's over there. So World of Coke is over there, and then you've got the Children's Museum, and then you also have the Civic Center over there as well. So there's lots of stuff while you're at the Georgia Aquarium to walk over and check out and make a day of it. You can also do the City Pass. Whenever I've had family come into town, we've done the City Pass before, and I'm sorry, I did not look up the prices for that, but back in the day, a couple years ago, when I had family come to town, you sign up for, I think it's like, it was around $80, but it's probably closer to $100 now. But the aquarium alone is like 2/3 of that. So it's something to consider if you have family coming to town. The City Pass, a couple different cities across the nation do it, but the Atlanta City Pass has 7 different activities you can go and do, and you pick 5 out of the 7 to go and check out. And Georgia Aquarium is on there, and so is World of Coke. So is the zoo. So is Fernbank. So is the Football Hall of Fame. And they used to have the CNN Center on there. That's no more. The CNN Center is gone. So I actually don't know. I can do a whole episode on the City Pass. That would be really cool to check out if you were considering like bringing a bunch of family members who are out of town to check out Atlanta and show them a good time. That's something cool to check out. So Georgia Aquarium. And then next up, I wanted to talk to you about the Atlanta Zoo. The zoo that's here. This is number 2 on our list. The Atlanta Zoo is so fun. We always, every year, we have signed up for the pass. We have the passport pass, which means that I can have up to 4 adults on my zoo pass, and I usually split it with a friend. So me and my friends' names will be on our pass at the top, and then we leave the other 2 named adults, air quotes if you can't see my video, but air quotes on the other 2 named adults, empty, because you can use those empty spots as guest passes. So when you go, the Atlanta Zoo and the Georgia Aquarium, the aquarium's not so strict, but the zoo definitely is. They check your ID for your pass every time you go, for your membership. If I'm going and my friend, her name is Kylie, is not going, then I still have 2 adults spots open on my pass that I can bring 2 other family members if I wanted to, because they're not named adults. So that's a good trick that's in the fine print that they don't often tell you about the zoo. So, and you don't have to get the passport one. There's other options that are lower that are like 3 family members. 3 adults and so and such kids, or 2 adults and however many kids, whatever. But we always get the passport because the passport has, after 6 visits, you don't have to go 6 months in a row, but I did that my first year. I thought that's what the rules were. You had to go every month for 6 months. If you go 6 times and you get the checklist, it has to be 6 different months, not necessarily like 6 times in 1 month. That doesn't work. But the whole point of my story is you get wristband rides. So there are rides in the children's area. There is the train ride and the carousel, and then you get discounted tickets for the treetops. The treetops is a ropes course. There's a big kid ropes course and a little tykes smaller ropes course, or little tots maybe is what they call it. So my daughter, she's 3. We've been doing the smaller ropes course actually since she was 2. And she loves it. It's so cool. It's just small enough for them to do it. The train ride goes around the children's area. It's like maybe 5 or 6 minutes long. And then the carousel is about 5 minutes long. So if you get the passport membership with the passbook, then every time you go to the zoo, you get them to stamp your book over in member services. And then once they stamp it 6 times, after that, you get wristband rides. But before then, the rides, of course, you can buy them beforehand. So the rides beforehand are $3 each. And so that's like one train ride is $3, the carousel is $3, and then the little smaller ropes course, the little tots one, is I believe $10. And then once you hit that 6-month mark, we always wait till the 6-month mark. If we have family in town, we might pay like $3 for the train ride, but when you do that so many times with so many families, like, it adds up really fast. So this is another little trick about the zoo. Once you get that passport stamped 6 times each month, it doesn't have to be consecutive, but like say January, February, March, April, May, June, you did the first 6 months of the year, then you would get that. But if I missed June because we were on vacation and I came in July, don't freak out. Like, I thought that that's what you had to do. You don't. You just have to go 6 times each, like a different month every time. So like say you went in February and you went in April and then you went in June, July, August, September, there's your 6 months, even though it wasn't consecutive, if that makes sense. So definitely check out that for the passport. And then you get like $1 off for the little tykes, the little tots ropes course area. So I think it drops to like either $9 or $8. It might even be $2. And then same thing with the big kids ropes course. So that's really cool about the zoo. That's why we love the zoo. And then of course, when we first get there, we always start with the flamingos and we kind of make our way to the left. And after the flamingos is the elephants and then the meerkats. And then you can see where the elephants get bathed and cleaned up and cared for. They have a whole like elephant viewing area like inside for treatment. So you can go over there, and then after that you make your way around to like the lions and the African safari, which has the giraffe, and they have giraffe feedings. The giraffe feedings are seasonal, and like I think it's like spring and summer, maybe a little bit into the fall, but they take a break over winter for sure. and they do have them at certain times. So make sure you check the times. I believe that they start at 10 most days, like majority days, they start at 10. The zoo opens at 9. If you get there at 9 in the morning, right when they open, it's the best experience because all the animals have just woken up. They're all excited to eat. So I highly recommend you get there as close as you can to 9, especially if you have like out of town guests and you're trying to show them a good time at the zoo. 9 o'clock in the morning, all the animals get fed. They're super active. They're running around. The gorillas are like beating on their chests, and it literally sounds like coconuts. It's the craziest, like hollow sound you've ever heard. So once you go past the gorilla, after the safari area, the African safari is like the gorillas, and then you can go into the reptiles area. We often, sadly to say, skip the reptile area because they are really hard for my daughter. She's 3.5 and I have a 1-year-old. It's really hard for them to see and find them. Like when I used to take her in there at the beginning, she'd be like, oh yeah, I see it, it's right there. And she like totally was not looking at the animal or the snake or whatever it was. They just blend in so well. So if you have older kids, it's really cool to like go on these, hunts for these animals in these habitats that they have. But we often skip it and go to the right, and then we go into like where the lemurs are and the other types of monkeys. I can't think of the names. I can't think of the other names of the type of monkeys, but there's a bunch of other types of monkeys that are over there. My daughter calls this one monkey the rainbow booty monkeys because there is some monkeys over there that do have legit a rainbow booty. So we like to go see those. And then after that, you kind of make your way down the hill over towards the orangutans. And then there's another smaller playground around to the right of the orangutans. So, and then the otters are also over there, but we don't always go to the smaller naked mole rat playground because I know that there is a lot to do in the kids zone, and they have a huge playground over in the kids zone, which is really cool. It's like actually right below the ropes course. So you can look up and see all the big kids and adults doing the ropes course above you. So we don't often go over to that playground. I sometimes even like circle around before we even get there because she's going to want to get out the stroller or he's going to want to get out and go to that playground. But we know there's a better one, to me, honestly, a bigger one waiting for you. But if you want a toddler one and you want a little privacy, like it is kind of tucked away. Not many people know about it. So that is a perk of that one also. And then you're going to make your way down through these like ramps that pass the tiger. The tiger is often easier seen at the lower part of the zoo that we found. There is another viewing with the bears, but the sun bears, you can see them from a bridge above. The tiger is not always seen from that bridge. I think it's easier to see the tiger. There's only one. It used to be a girl. I don't know if they've changed it. So I want to say she. She is lower. And then after the tiger area, you see the Komodo dragon. And then if you keep making your way down, you come into the food area, and they have a huge cafeteria restaurant in the back. And then after that is the petting zoo. So they also have the petting zoo with a ton of sheep and goat. And you can go in and grab a brush. You can brush the animals. It's a fun activity to do. And then they do have a washing station afterwards. That is right before you get into the kids zone. So the petting zoo kind of starts your way into the kids zone. And then you can see the alpacas. And then if you keep going, you've got some owls, and the white peacock was really pretty to see. And then you're in the kids zone, and the kids zone has, like I said, the carousel, the train ride, the splash pad should be opening up soon. Then you've got the ropes course, and then you have the big kid ropes course with adults and the playground. So that is the Atlanta Zoo. We love the zoo. We always, speaking of parking, I wanted to mention that we always find parking on the streets surrounding the Atlanta Zoo. There is a parking deck on the boulevard side. The parking deck you obviously have to pay for, and their parking lot that's right in front of the entrance you have to pay for. So a way around that we have found is that we do street parking. So I always turn right on Augusta Avenue, which is where Howdy's is. So remember this restaurant, Howdy's, it's a breakfast spot, is Augusta Avenue, and there's usually a ton of neighborhood parking right there. So you can park on the street there and walk over. It's honestly not that big of a deal to walk. If you did want to park in the parking lot, I think over 2 hours, I haven't done it in a while, but I believe over 2 hours is $12. So, and lower than that, I think is like 5 or 6 maybe. I haven't done that in a while and so the zoo, speaking of time frame, we normally, if we do all the kids' activities, we legit make a whole day out of it and we pack a lunch. Again, the zoo does not check your bags for food also. So you can definitely bring food in like Chick-fil-A or, McDonald's, whatever. Excuse me. McDonald's, and you can set up a picnic and you can hang out at the zoo and have your food. So we honestly could spend like 3 hours at the zoo when we go. So moving on from the zoo, if you want something that is still animals, I wanted to mention over here in Lilburn is the Yellow River Wildlife Sanctuary. The Yellow River Zoo is amazing. My daughter calls it the Wildlife Zoo because it is all wildlife. So we have bought membership to that as well. If you go, I want to say 2, maybe 3 times, it'll pay for itself. It's under the $100 bracket for an adult and 2 kids. I think it was around $60 for the whole year. And then 2 adults, I think was 90. I'm sorry, I don't actually know exact numbers, so I don't want to quote and you guys say, oh, you were wrong. If I am wrong, tell me. But I think you can find all this information on their website or you can call. But long story short, it is so worth it because the parking is free. So when you get there, you find a good parking spot, and it's kind of tucked away and hidden, but it's really cool. You get a feed cup when you go. The feed cups do cost, I think they're $6 each for the feed cup, but you get a ton of lettuce and a ton of carrots. I highly recommend when you go in, it's kind of the shape of a circle with a line straight down the middle, is how the layout of the walking path goes. So when you go in, the deer are your very first animal and they are over to the right. Feed the deer if you want, but they're always hungry. They will be there when you leave on the way out. So I highly recommend you go down to the left to the rabbit area. The rabbits, they open at 10 o'clock, first of all. They open at 10. I should have started with that. If you get there, just like the zoo, when they open, they are hungry. They know people are coming and they are active. So we always try to get there around 10. Go straight to the left, go to the rabbits. The rabbits fill up very fast on food. And if you wait till later in the day, they're in their little house and they are not coming out and you cannot feed them. So if you go to the rabbits, they like carrots. They're not big lettuce fans. So you have carrots and lettuce in your feed cup. Feed them the carrots. They like the carrots. And then you'll make your way out of the rabbit area and continue forward, and you'll make the big circle around the entire walking path of all the animals. And they've got like wild birds, different types of hawks and owls, and then lots of foxes, different types of foxes. They have coyotes, they have black bears, they have wolves there. They do have an otters feeding time. The otters get fed every day around lunchtime. I can't remember if it's 11:15 or 12:15, but that's really cool to see because then they're like swarming and crazy and they, are very active because they just ate. So they do have otters. They are just now adding an alligator habitat. So the alligators are coming very soon if they're not already there. They were almost done the last time we were there about a month ago. So I'm looking forward to that. They have the cutest porcupine there. So as you're rounding around, you will enter into the farm area. So most of your feed cup will be for the rabbits, with the carrots, and then save the rest of your feed cup. Well, they have signs everywhere of the animals you can and can't feed, but the feed cup, you want to save that for when you get to the barn area, because in the barn, they have sheep, they have goats, they have a donkey, they have a giant bull, they have a cow, a calf over there. They have the peacocks are free roaming everywhere, but the peacocks don't really take any of your food, and I have seen them peck at people before, so caution with the peacock. I actually saw the little boy get pecked and it was terrifying. So caution with the peacocks. This is wildlife. They are wild animals. They kind of run the place. It's always a joke every time I go. Someone always has to make the comment, "Oh wow, the squirrels really run this place," because the squirrels are in every single animal's home habitat and eating all of their food constantly. So the squirrels are in paradise at Yellow River Zoo. So the barn area is really fun. The donkey cracks me up with the noises he makes, and the first time my daughter heard the donkey, she was quite surprised at the noise it made, so that was funny. And then there is also a turkey that roams free. He's a really big turkey. He's cool to see. And then, yeah, you have the bears and the wolves are kind of on that second half of the circle, like if you're going around through the barn area, and then you end with the deer, and the deer are usually always hungry. So if you don't feed them at the beginning, feed them on your way out. We have easily done the Yellow River Ranch in an hour and a half. It doesn't take very long. It's not that big, but it is big enough to get out of the house and make a day of it. And you can also bring food there. They have tons of picnic tables everywhere. They don't have any food there to purchase, but you could bring a lunch or a picnic or Chick-fil-A or whatever. And then they have a little gift shop on your way out, which has like really cool toys that I haven't seen a lot of places, and books and clothes and wildlife merchandise. So Yellow River Ranch is really cool to check out. Like I said, we've done it easily in an hour and a half. It doesn't take that long, but it still gets us out of the house, and it's really cool. My daughter likes that it's hands-on, that she can actually feed the animals, and it's not animals that you would see at the zoo typically. So Yellow River Ranch was number 3 on our list. The next thing I want to talk about is indoor playgrounds, like a couple places that are our favorites. If you want to burn off some energy, Catch Air is one of our favorites right here in Tucker. There's also a Snellville location. It's actually nationwide, so there's a couple throughout Georgia, I think, but the closest ones are the Snellville and Tucker one that just opened. The Tucker one is really fun. It's space themed. All of the Catch Airs are different themes. So the Snellville one is ocean themed. I really like the Tucker one because it's still fairly new. They just opened February of 2025. So they've only been open a little over a year. And honestly, like every time we go, it's a great experience. We never have any issues of it being overcrowded. They do have food there, pretty cheap food that you can buy that's actually good, like personal sized pizzas. And my daughter is so comfortable there that like I feel comfortable letting her at 3. We've been going there since she was 2, run the whole place, and like I tell her like, okay, this is our meeting spot. Meet me back here after you run through the jungle gym area. And it's just like a giant indoor playground that also the adults can climb through. So you can actually go in with your kids and like take them on the slides and help them climb up, and not like a McDonald's playground or a playground at the park. It's actually like big soft play features. They have trampolines there. They have like interactive walls. They have ball pits. They have like a separate toddler section that's only for 4 and under, which is really nice. They have like interactive drawing boards, coloring boards. They have like a peg board that the kids like to play on. Then of course, like several different types of slides. They have like this little mirror maze zone area. They have like an obstacle course, like a ninja course area. And then they also have like this play gun shooting range area where you can like shoot the target. So there's lots of things to do inside of Catch Air in Tucker. And then it's really nice because it's right next to Chick-fil-A. So we always boom, both of those. We hit up Chick-fil-A. They don't let you take in outside food to Catch Air. Another safety feature that they have at Catch Air is really cool, that you have to have a stamp on your hand, and they lock the entry and exit, so you cannot, like, your kid cannot run out on you without having an adult present, and they check your stamps to make sure that you both have the same stamp to leave and come. So that's a really nice, like, phew, okay, at least if I'm over here talking to my mom friend, at least I know she can't, like, just run out with somebody on her own, or like open the door and run out, because there's a gate blocking her before she even leaves. So that's really cool. That's number 4 on our list. And then another indoor spot I wanted to mention, number 5, is Kids Avenue. Kids Avenue is over in Buckhead. If you've never been to Kids Avenue, it's really cool. It is imaginary play for kids. So think like a little city that everything is toddler size. It's so cute. They have like a little bakery shop. They have a hair salon. They have a fire truck, a fire station. And then they have like a pizza shop, and they have a little grocery store. Then they have a construction site. They have a campsite, and then they have a huge ball pit with a giant slide that goes down into it. And then they also have like a party room with drawing, and you can rent it out for birthdays and such. I have actually a full episode on 3 indoor playgrounds that I love. Kids Avenue, Catch Air, and Boomerang. Boomerang is over by Piedmont Park. If you wanted to check that out, that is in one of my earlier episodes. It says 3 indoor playgrounds to check out in Atlanta. So you can go back and listen to that. Let all the kids burn off their energy, especially on these super hot days coming up. Those are really fun. Kids Avenue is just so cool because everything is toddler size, like the little cups, the hair salon supplies, the fire truck, play dress up, and then they have like construction, like hat and like little vest you can put on, and all of the tools. Everything is like miniature size for kids' tiny hands. So it's just a really cool area to check out. It's over in Buckhead, kind of by Lenox and Phipps Plaza Mall. And then let's see, number 6 on our list is, if you want to do something educational but still fun, Fernbank. Fernbank Museum is the dinosaur museum that we have here in Atlanta. It is closer to Midtown. It's downtown. And Fernbank has it has several different levels. There's 3 floors. You want to start at the 3rd floor. You want to take the elevator. You enter into the main floor, which is the 2nd level. You want to go up one, and on the 3rd floor, they have a children's playground, which right when you come out the elevator, up the steps, it's over to the left. And then if you go over to the right, they have a whole STEM lab area. So if you're looking for something more educational and still want to get out the house, or something indoors, I know we went there a lot last January when I was still pregnant with my son. It was really great because it was so cold outside, but it was like super empty. Like there was nobody in there. So it was really awesome to like take my daughter there and just let her free roam and run everywhere while we were inside. So they have a playground that's upstairs indoors. That's really cool to check out. It's really unique. It's like built into the walls and like a tree house kind of playground. And then they have the STEM lab area, so you can do all these different science experiments. And then you want to make your way down to level 2, and they have a bunch of walk-through like museum stuff where you can go through and see the dinosaurs and learn about all the different ways that all different walks of life came to be. So there's definitely like a museum part of it, but if you don't want to do the museum part necessarily, your kids aren't big enough yet to like comprehend that, like mine, they do have like a lot of cool stuff to do even if your kids are young. So then you go down to the 1st floor. The 1st floor has the food and cafe area. You do have to pay extra for all that, but this is another place that does not check your bags like for food. So you can bring your own food there too. So pack a lunch. Again, like, we're trying to save money here, but we're still trying to have fun. Fernbank, I've easily gone through there in an hour and a half. It doesn't take very long, especially if you skip like the actual museum part of it when you have young kids like I do. And then when you go down to the main floor, they have different exhibits that come. Like, they had a mirror maze one time that was so cool, and I really wish that they would bring that back. We went to like a turtle exhibit recently, and then I think they even had like some sort of volcano one time that was cool. So they've got different stuff, and then there's like a whole feature on just Georgia and like all of the different types of animals that live in Georgia, all of the different types of trees and creatures and all the things. I don't really know. I haven't been in there in a long time, but they do have a whole museum just for Georgia. So that's really cool. And then when you go outside at Fernbank, they have a really cool walking trail that goes through the woods, and they always have different themes for the walking trail. Like right now, I think it's a butterfly theme. So you can go through and hear about all the different butterflies, or not hear, but read about them on the signs. And it's different like art installations throughout. So the walking trail is really cool. And then they also have an outdoor playground as well. So you can do an outdoor playground or an indoor playground. You can literally make a whole day of it. If you do the walking trails, they do take, I would say like 20-30 minutes. Like if you go on the longer ones, especially around, not all of them are super stroller friendly. So just like kind of look at the map before you go. There's several different trails you can take. So you might go to a dead end and have to walk back if you bring a stroller. I know we had to do that once where we had to like carry it up. Like, oh my gosh, it felt like 3 flights of stairs or something. It was a lot. I definitely couldn't have done it by myself. So make sure you check that before you check out the trails. So Fernbank, that's another good one. And then let's see, I think we're on number 7. Let's see, we did the aquarium, the zoo, Yellow River Wildlife Zoo. We did Catch Air and Kids Avenue. Fernbank was number 6, and then number 7 was the Atlanta Botanical Gardens. So Atlanta Botanical Gardens, I just did an episode on this that has so many different kid-friendly activities to do. So be sure to go check that episode out if you really want like all the details, but I'm going to do a quick run through for you. The Atlanta Botanical Gardens has a whole children's area. In the children's area, they have like an interactive water wall play. They have a splash pad that's about to open. They do have a playground, like with the tree houses in the very back. They have like some fun rope bridges you can go across. They do have grooves in the garden, which is like a dance music class that they have on Thursdays starting like March through October. And then Tuesdays, I think, is their like young gardeners or something like that, where the kids can learn about gardening and they can participate in actually doing gardening activities like watering the flowers. And they have a whole educational gardening class just for kids. And then Wednesdays, I believe, is the story time. They do have a story time in the garden as well. And then if you wanted to go as like a family, there's so much to do at Botanical Gardens. There's a beautiful like canopy walk bridge that you can go on a walk through the woods that's really big. They have the beautiful Mother Nature sculpture that she will be in full bloom come end of May. And then they've got like a big open lawn area. They have a restaurant there, tons of little like snack shops along the way. They have an orchid indoor like beautiful display of orchids. And then also they have like frogs that you can go and look at. Then they have like an indoor rainforest, and then they will be featuring Alice in Wonderland. They do themes throughout the year, like they do scarecrows in the garden in October. So be sure to check that out, Atlanta Botanical Gardens. There's always parking because they have a parking garage. You do have to pay extra for the parking. You do have to pay. We got the membership this year. This is our first time with the membership, and we've already been 3 times, and it's already paid for itself if I had gone all those times separately. So that has been really cool. Same thing with the botanical gardens as the zoo. If you get a membership that has more than one adult on it, and you don't name that second or third adult, you can use it as a extra guest pass, which I just found out, which is so cool and so kind of them, because not my husband cannot always go with us, so I didn't put him on our membership, but I like that, like, I could bring him with us, or I could bring one of my mom friends and her kids too. So definitely check that out. And then, so Atlanta Botanical Gardens is over by Piedmont Park downtown. And then here's a couple of parks, like playgrounds, that I just wanted to run through real quick. Some of our favorite playgrounds that we love to check out. Lilburn City Park is beautiful. There's walking trails there. All of these parks I'm about to mention have wonderful walking trails and restaurants close by. Like Lilburn City Park actually has a restaurant on the green grass area, a Mexican restaurant that has the best cheese dip. I'm a cheese dip snob. And then the playground area has like a toddler and big kid area, and then several walking trails you can do around there. And then you can also, of course, check out Lilburn Main Street and all the shops right there. That's one of our favorite playgrounds. There's usually plenty of parking. Then the new Tucker Green Space is really cool. Like it's a built-in playground, so there's like one slide on this big hill, and then there's several little hills that the kids can play on. It's just a big open green grass area that the kids can run. There's water features, there's like rock pits and just different stuff to kind of like make them think outside the box and make them get creative and literally like play in the dirt and find things to do and be imaginative. And then you can check out like Tucker Main Street. There's several really great restaurants on Tucker Main Street. There's Lilburn Local, Ford's Barbecue, 2 different dessert spots for cookies and like pastry desserts. Then there's a Mexican restaurant. Local 7 is like a bar food area. Ford's Barbecue is obviously barbecue. There's a burger joint. And then Wine and Whimsies, if you're looking for gifts or wine yourself. Wine and Whimsies is a wine shop, but it also has several local artists that that sell their items there, that are local to our area, like local custom cups that say Tucker, or just little kitschy gifts that you can get there. So it's like a little kind of boutique and wine shop sort of. So definitely check out. So Lilburn City Park, Tucker Green Space that just opened, Mason Mill Park. Mason Mill Park is over by Toco Hills, at North Druid Hills in Claremont, kind of right there. Mason Mill Park connects to Medlock Park, and it connects by this beautiful, really big walking trail. And the walking trail has like, I want to say like 6 feet wide of space. So there's plenty of space. Like I'm telling you, it's huge, kind of like the Atlanta Beltline. Doesn't go as far, of course, as Beltline, but it connects those 2 parks. Both of those parks have awesome playgrounds. They both have a toddler side and a big kid side. And then you can also just walk around Mason Mill Park. You don't have to go on the big long trail, but there are other smaller trails around the playground. And then I wanted to mention also by Mason Mill Park is the Decatur Library. The library right there is really cool. Or maybe it's not called Decatur, but maybe it's Mason Mill Library. I'm not sure, but there's a library right next to it that you can also like run into and get your kids some children books, or just check out the library right there while you're there. So, and then food wise, next to Mason Mill Park is Toco Hills, and there's all kinds of food in Toco Hills. One of our favorites is La Paria, or the Flying Biscuit. They have an Outback over there. They have Brewster's Ice Cream. There's a couple like little bar hubs. There's pizza restaurants. All of that is by Mason Mill. And then I wanted to mention Peachtree Corners. If you have not been to Peachtree Corners, it is worth the drive. It's by that, I mean, it's not a long drive, but Peachtree Corners just has the most unique playground I have seen. There's like 4 different types of playgrounds there, and a huge green space in the middle, and it's very like community, family friendly, with a ton of restaurants and shops around that you can walk and check out, and then come over to the playground area. They also have a walking trail. There's a dog park that they just opened up over there. They do a ton of events at Peachtree Corners, And for me, living in Tucker, it takes me about 20 minutes to get there, but I'm telling y'all, it's beautiful. It's definitely worth checking out if you haven't already. It's one of our favorite playgrounds. And then Brook Run Park is the last playground I wanted to mention. That was 5 playgrounds for you to check out. Brook Run Park is really cool. They have 7 different playgrounds all in one area, with different features at each one. They have like a small baby playground, and then they increase to a toddler playground, then a little bit bigger kids, and then bigger kids, and it just keeps growing by the kids' ages. So it's really cool, and you can like sit in one spot and see all the different playgrounds. So if you have kids of multiple ages, it's really great. Like, you got to check it out. They have farmers markets that come there. They have a skating park, like skateboarding park. They have really beautiful walking trails that also connect to another park. Pernicial Park, I think, is the other park that connects to Brook Run. And the walking trails are really pretty. They have a lot of events that come there. They also have, that just opened, is a water feature, creek type of thing. The water creek feature that they have, the kids can play in. So it's like just a bunch of big stepping stones that have water running down them, and the kids often take off their shoes and they can play up and down it, and it's like not even an inch of water, but it's just something that they can play in. And yes, they're going to get wet, but they're not going to get completely soaked unless they like sit down and roll in it. So that's really cool, that my daughter likes to check out. So those 5 playgrounds are free and something new to check out. So again, that was Lilburn City Park, Mason Mill Park, Tucker Green Space, Brook Run Park, and Peachtree Corners. Those 5 playgrounds are absolutely amazing to check out. They're free. You can do them as a family. You can get food afterwards. You can bring food, all of those things. And then 2 more things I wanted to mention to you. Number 9 on my list today is your local libraries. Check out your local libraries by going to DeKalb County library events near me. And when you search that, it'll say DeKalb County calendar or Gwinnett County calendar. Search whatever county you're in. Doesn't matter where you live. This is all over, everywhere, all over the nation. Every county has this on their site. So even my sister in Oklahoma, I know this because I've done that with her in Oklahoma, and Texas, and now Louisiana, where she lives. She searches, whatever county she lives in, DeKalb County calendar of events, and you see the events. You can search by age of your kids, and you can see all the events that they have on each day. Our local library is amazing because they have music class for toddlers, they have story time for a little bit older toddlers, and then they have like a baby music class. We've done the yoga class. They have free yoga at our library. They have puzzle days. They have scavenger hunt days. We've even had where they've done magicians. They've done magicians where they bring in magic acts, and it's in the parking lot, and it's free, and you just see it on the calendar and you show up for it. That's been really cool. In the past, a couple summers ago, they did that. So there's a lot of stuff to do at your local library, like kids story times. So be sure to check that out. Find out which one fits for you. The Tucker Library is our favorite, Tucker Read Library. We've been to the Decatur one. The Decatur one's really interactive too. And it just kind of gets you out of the house. It's free. You meet other moms. That's how I met a lot of my mom friends I have now. And then the Gwinnett County ones are great too. Fulton County, I've been one time to Fulton County area. And they just all have different features, different things. So check their calendar, search by the age of your kids, all of those things. So that's number 9. Now, number 10, the most important thing I wanted to talk about today is Tucker Day. Tucker Day is coming up. Tucker Day is a festival that comes every year, every May, every first weekend of May, right before Mother's Day. And it has over 100 booths. It's on Main Street. Well, this year with the new Tucker Town Green, they have opened it up to the Town Green. I have a booth there myself, so I really wanted to announce that to you guys. that I will be selling all kinds of different types of mom merch, from t-shirts to drinkware like tumblers, glass cups, the Libby cups, the coffee mugs, whatever you can think of. I will have tons of Mother's Day gifts and gifts for mom in general, gifts for yourself, because a lot of you are moms that are listening right now. I have tote bags, I have like little accessories, and then I'm going to have a ton of mom bundled boxes, so you can literally send your husband over to see me and get a Mother's Day gift box. So send your husband over, buy one for your mom, buy one for yourself, treat yourself. Why not? I will have a booth at Tucker Day, so I really wanted to announce that to you guys. That's number 10, something that's coming up. It will be May 2nd. That's in almost 10 days from today. It starts at 9 in the morning. It's till 4 p.m. And they have a parade that goes on right at 9. So if you want to come and see the parade, I highly recommend it. It's so cool. It's very community centered and full of just a lot of families and a lot of fun. The parade includes all of our local businesses, local schools come through, like Tucker High School comes through with their band. That's always really cool to see, and especially for young kids, like gets them inspired. So I highly recommend that you show up at like 8:30 to find somewhere to park and then walk over to Main Street. It'll be shut down, so you can find parking around Main Street and then walk over. So be sure to find me after the parade on the Tuckertown Green Space. And if you're not following me on social media, please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and I'm trying to get my TikTok together. I'm not so great at TikTok, but definitely Facebook and Instagram. Follow me on there because I will be giving out special discounts and different raffle tickets and giveaways for Tucker Day. So if you are local, or you are just a mom listening to this podcast, you want some mom merch, I got you. I got you covered. And I'm focusing on like local city specialty mom merch. So like I have a lot of Tucker Mama stuff coming, Tucker Mom stuff and Tucker Mama, and like Moms of Tucker and Lilburn Mom and Snowville Mom, and then I just have a ton, if you're not local, tons of mom merch, and I will be sharing a couple of sneak peeks on my Instagram and Facebook between today and tomorrow of my sneak peeks of my prints. And yeah, like I said, I will be there. I'll be happy to chat with you, meet you, say hello. It's a great family-friendly event to go to. There's 3 different stages with music. There's tons of food there. Wine and Whimsies is doing a really cool beer garden. So you can buy a ticket to that. I believe it's $20 in advance. And you get to enter into their little like zoned off section to have all the beer and wine you want for $20. And then $30 at the door, I believe is the details of it. They have a flyer up on their page. They are a local wine shop on Main Street, so they're getting very involved in Tucker Day. And let's see, I think that's all. So let me run through the 10 things you can do in Atlanta. The last one being my favorite, of course, because that's coming up. So we had the Georgia Aquarium, the Atlanta Zoo, Yellow River Wildlife Zoo, Kids Avenue, Etch Air, Fernbank, Atlanta Botanical Gardens, and then I listed several different parks you can check out. It was Lilburn City Park, Tucker Green Space, Mason Mill Park, Peachtree Corners, and Brook Run Park. And then number 9 on the list was a lot of hidden gems are at your local library. You've got to look up your local library, search the county you live in, DeKalb County events calendar. It'll pop up, search by the age. And then lastly was Tucker Day. Please come see me on Tucker Day. Say hello, get to know me. I'll have my mom merch out. And if you don't see me on Tucker Day, I will have all of it available online afterwards. That is my big announcement. I am announcing that I am reopening my mom merch website, and I can't wait for you guys to check out all of the goodies that I have in store. So thank you guys so much for listening. At the end of the day, it's not about doing all the expensive things. It's about making memories with your kids. So if you can't, afford things like botanical gardens or, all the time, definitely check out one of those playgrounds. Go to the library where it's free. Like, these are still fun things you can do to get out of the house. And I don't know about you, but my daughter can barely handle one activity a day sometimes. When I load her up with more than one activity, it's like so overwhelming for her that she's just having a complete meltdown by 6 p.m. And then she's in bed by 7. And my husband barely gets to see her because he gets home at 6:30 or 6:45. So definitely check out some of that free stuff, because at the end of the day, it's not about doing the biggest, most expensive thing. It's about getting out, making the memories, and honestly, like, just trying to survive the day, because your energy is different every day. You might have had a long, multiple wake up night with your kids, and you still have all this energy inside of them because they're kids. You need to get it out. You got to go somewhere. Go to a park for an hour, whether it's a full outing at the aquarium or just a quick trip to the park. These little moments, and your kids, they're going to remember that above all that, above everything else. They're going to remember those moments and that time together. So if this episode gave you an idea or something new to do, please share it with another mom. Tag me in it when you go. Let me know you checked it out. Like, what are we going to do today? Send it to your mom friends. There's tons of options here. I'll be sharing more details on my social media. Like I said, I did a lot of previous episodes on indoor playgrounds, the botanical gardens. Go check those out if you want more details on those. And like I said, if you end up trying any of these, I would love to see it. Tag me in it. Let me know on social media at the Tuckered Mama on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll be sure to share your experiences. And I'm here to hype you guys up. This whole reason why I started this was to let everybody know about all the different things you can do in our community. I'm trying to bring everybody together, all while being silly on Instagram with my silly mom videos and featuring local mom spotlights. So next week I'm doing a really cool one with a good friend of mine named Amy. And she's going to be coming on and talking about her business. So stay tuned for that. If you missed the previous Mom Spotlight about Jessica Grace with her photography business and newborns, you got to go hear that. You got to hear her reason behind it. I mean, she just has such a heart behind the camera. You got to go check it out. And like I said, next week we're going to be interviewing Amy, and she will also be at Tucker Day. So you'll be able to see and get to know both of us that day. So, all right, moms, that's it for today. I appreciate you guys listening. Go make some memories. I encourage you to get out the house, embrace the chaos, take it, out of the house, get out of the house, stop cleaning, stop thinking about all the chores you have to do. Go make the memories with your kids. Honestly, I leave my house sometimes just so I don't have to clean. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much for listening. From one Tuckered Mama today to another one. See ya.